Mic'd up.
Welcome, everybody, to a Yankees Coast-to-Coast postgame show. I will say I hope this show is as exciting as the Yankee game was, because it really was not an exciting game, guys. Yanks got 2 hits. It was not a good outing for the New York Yankees. Not at all. Sorry, 1 hit. No, yeah, I think I have 1 hit. Way to go, Yanks. So what do we want to start with? Well, I guess I should start with this. I said yesterday that there is an app that is free and legal. Obviously, I was hassling Adam because he was being cheap and lazy and didn't know how to work Amazon Prime. So we'll just leave it at that. So what do we want to talk about first? Let's talk about the lineup. They decided to sit Jazz, which is fine. He went 0 for 2 with 2 walks yesterday and 2 strikeouts, a no contact day. They also sat Grisham and played Grisick. I don't understand that because, Grisham did get a hit yesterday and 2 walks, went 1 for 2 with 2 walks. So, what are they doing there? However, why did they play Rice today? He went 0 for 4. Granted, he did get the only hit, but he went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts and a golden sombrero yesterday. So I would have wondered, why is Goldschmidt not playing? So that's what I think of the lineup choices that were made by the Yankees. Don't understand exactly what they're thinking on that. I will say also, listen, you want to play Grichuk, you got to play him at some point. You might as well play him against the lefty. Hopefully we don't see his butt out there tomorrow, because he's now officially 0 for 5 on the season with 3 strikeouts, because today he had a no-contact day of 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. So I'm thinking they better not play Grichuk tomorrow. The lineup tomorrow should be Goldschmidt at first. The lineup should have the outfield of Grisham, Bellinger, and Judge, even though it's against another lefty, Steven Matz. I don't really want to see Mr. Grichuk anymore. On the infield, I'm assuming Jazz will be back, and McMahon, who did have an 0 for 3 day, but only 1 strikeout. I can't believe only 1 strikeout is a compliment for him. He probably should be sitting tomorrow because Rosario went 0 for 2 with 2 walks. He deserves to play again. He's getting on base. And while Caballero went 0 for 2, he did sit out yesterday. So it should be McMahon's turn to sit out against a left-handed pitcher. As far as catching goes, Wells, he went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He had 1 decent at bat. Stanton's got to play against the lefty. Bellinger should play every day. Judge didn't look good today, but obviously he's Aaron Judge. He plays every day. So that's, what I'm thinking about that. Let's talk about David Weathers. 8 strong innings. He threw, in his last outing, he threw only 3 2/3 and threw 88 pitches. In this outing, he threw 8 full innings and threw 101 pitches. And most impressively, he threw 73 strikes. This is what happens when you pound the zone. Pound the zone, pound the zone. Yes, he had some trouble putting hitters away. He only had 7 strikeouts, even though he had several batters with 2 strikes and was ahead in the count on them. Specifically, Jacob Wilson fouled off 9,642 and a half pitches today. But pound the zone. You've got good stuff. They're not going to make solid contact. Pound the zone. Pound the zone. That is what we teach the kids at the high school level. That's what they should be teaching the kids at the college level. They should be teaching the kids that at the elementary school level. Pound the zone. When Weathers pounds the zone, this is what they can get out of him. The A's, not a bad hitting team, although they haven't been that terrific yet this season. But 8 innings, 7 hits, 1 run earned, 7 strikeouts, and no walks. That's outstanding. And of course, the offense did him in, just as they did in Fried the other day, and then didn't pick up their end for Schlittler either. There's not much to say about today's game. Other than that, I do have a couple of questions with regard to how the game was managed. When Stanton walked in the 7th, and it was a 1-0 game, why didn't Jazz come in to pinch run for him right away and steal second base? Get the guy on second. Clearly, the Yankees are able to run this year. They've done a good job of it. Jazz has done a good job of it. He's now got 5 stolen bases. Why not put Jazz in there right away to steal second, so that if by some chance somebody gets a hit, because there was still being no hit, there's a chance the Jazz would be able to score in a single. Instead, they didn't do that, and they got their only hit right after that. Now, predetermined outcome, Michael K, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But why wait a batter, or why wait at all? Get Jazz out there to run. It's the seventh inning. You only have two more at-bats to do it, and you're only one run down. So if you can get a run that inning, what's your worst case scenario? You've got Jazz in the lineup instead of Stanton. Yes, against the lefty, I'd rather have Stanton in there, which is what happened in the ninth inning because of Jazz being the pinch hitter for him. Jazz batted in the ninth against the lefty Hogan Harris. But if you're going to run for Stanton, run for him right away and let Jazz steal the base. And if by chance you get a hit, which you hadn't had any, maybe there's a chance he scores. Now, predetermined outcome says Rice may not have gotten a hit. Well, that's true. But if he had gotten a hit, that would have been great. But there you go. The Yanks had first and second, and next came Grichuk, strike three. And then came Wells. He had an okay at bat, but he had an easy out as well. And the Yankees came away with nothing in the bottom of the seventh. In the eighth, they brought in the righty pitcher. So they put in Grisham for Caballero. McMahon grounded out. Rosario got his walk. And then Judge hit a little weak ground ball. And then in the ninth inning, the Yankees came up with Blackburn coming in. And well, Blackburn got out of the inning, allowed a double to Max Muncy, not the Dodgers' Max Muncy, but they did get a double and got it to Max Muncy. He got out of the inning, and Yankees went into the bottom of the ninth down 1-0. The question is, it's a high leverage situation. Why Blackburn? Why not Bird, who was available for sure? Why not Duvall, who was available for sure? We know it wasn't going to be Winquist. Is this because Blackburn's gone tonight in order for Heel to be added to the 40-man roster? I'd like to see what's going on with that. We'll see tonight what the Yankees are doing because Heel is pitching tomorrow in Tampa against the Rays and Steven Matz. A couple of more points I want to make before I go here today. Once again, why is Winquist on the team? He is never going to pitch, and if he's never going to pitch, why bother? Just give him back, as we did a whole snippet on that yesterday. And then on the Yankees at-bats today, listen, the A's are going from Yankee Stadium over to Citi Field, so they're not changing hotels, they're not traveling, they're not doing anything. And the Yankees are on a getaway day, and they certainly played that way. They were swinging, and then they started swinging some more. They really didn't make Springs work at all. Springs is not a strikeout pitcher, so they really shouldn't have feared striking out against Springs, although he did strike out 6 guys. Granted, 3 of them were our friend Grichuk. So, there was no fear that we were going to get struck out by this guy. So why are they jumping on pitches so early in the count? Make this guy work and get into the underbelly of the A's bullpen. This was it because it's a getaway day for the Yankees, or was it just that cold? Neither one of which are valid excuses. And this is on the team as a whole. What were Boone and the hitting coaches saying to the players? Were they saying work the count? Were they saying make Springs work? It's not apparent as to why the Yankees would bother to swing at so many pitches so early in the count against a guy who doesn't strike guys out very often. He used to strike guys out at about 10 per game in 24 and 23, but last year, coming off of surgery, he was a pus thrower, and this year he's just a strike thrower, effective strike thrower. But then again, why were they swinging so early in the count? That's just bad game management, and I don't know if that's on Boone, on the hitting coach, or on the players. It's definitely on the players for sure, because even if the batting coach says swing, players should know better than that. So this is a horrible game for the Yankees offense. It's not just the bottom of the order today. It was everybody. I also think it was their approach to every at-bat. I think it was bad management and bad coaching by Boone and the hitting coaches, and they wasted what may be the best game that Weathers has pitched in his entire career. So that being the case, tomorrow it's Steven Matz versus the Yankees in Tampa. You'll have Adam on the show. He's trying to hook himself up with our boy, Danny Boy Kramer. But this was a really disappointing game. Please go out to our YouTube page as well as watching us live on the Mic'd Up app. On the YouTube page, we do chop up our shows. So you got 3 shows for 1 yesterday. You had the full post game show. You had the show where we talked about Cade Winquist being a waste of a roster spot and how he's coming back to bite the Yankees on the butt. He didn't bite them today, but that might be on Boone. And we also talked about the ABS system. So we've got all sorts of shows and topics on our YouTube page at Yankees Coast to Coast. Michael Miller signing off. And since Adam's not here, you know where he is. Good luck in prison, Adam.